Being a nephew to Pat and Jim Corrigan and May Corrigan Sewell and son of sports enthusiast Bobby Stirrat, it wasn't surprising that Liam Stirrat's involvement began at an early age. As well as being an excellent footballer, was Liam Stirrat's highly successful managerial career just by mere chance? Well, Liam, when did you come in on the scene as team manager now?
Well, that would have been 1977, Mikey. We had won the championship in '74, which under Sean McKeegan's manager. We were beaten semi-finalists in '75 and finalists in '76 again. And when '77 came, there didn't seem to be anybody for team manager. And,
right.
Even though I was still playing, I offered to do it anyway.
So you were kind of the last choice then?
I certainly wasn't the first, Mike.
Right,
anyway.
all right. So that was '77 then, Liam?
That was '77.
And you, who was team manager, but then was there any helpers? Or?
There would have been Jimmy McCary, who would have come home from England, and Johnny Carr. Jimmy, fantastic servant, always had a great interest in Scotstown.
Yeah. Was a lot of young talent coming through that time, Liam, I can remember.
That, as it turned out, Mikey, that was the nucleus of the team that won Ulster and indeed got to All-Ireland finals and that. You know, we would have had a fantastic under-21 team.
And what about your '74 squad? Still some of them about? Still some of them about.
Gerard McKeag, Eamon Keenan, Jim Traynor, Sean McCrudden, you know, a fantastic older base, if you like, and then the blend of the new players.
New ones coming through. A good under-21 team.
Very, very good under-21 team. Seamus McCarver would have been the captain of that. My own brother Damien, Niall, Donald Mina, Fergus Coffell, Jack McCarver, Tom Mina, all them fellas were beginning to come through.
And they had been, some of those were on the '76 minor team, weren't they?
'76 minor team, particularly Jim McCabe, Ronnie McDermott, that type of player was coming.
And Lillis,
through
of course, he was...
well, Lillis was the backbone.
That's Brendan.
Brought the expertise of the training schedules and all, because neither Jimmy, Johnny or myself would have great expertise in that area. I was never a great man to train myself.
So I'm going to ask you to tell us about '77, Liam, because I think we all like talking about '77, you know. I think in the county final, was it Ballybay you played, was it?
In Ballybay, in the first game, terrible low scoring match, an atrocious match, I suppose, Mackie. We were very, very, very lucky to get a draw out of it. And even though I do say so myself, when we were coming off the field at the finish, a certain individual said to Sean Morgan, who was the secretary, I think, of Scotstown at the time, You've brought us up here to watch that, and Sean Morgan's reply was, "You're the last man I'd bring anywhere."
Right. Well, I'm not going to ask you who it was, Liam.
No, I'm glad of that, Mike.
Okay. Now, that was the first match.
That was the first match.
Right.
Then we did. I suppose we learned a lot from the first match and won the second match. Comfortably enough now.
Yeah. So you were into Ulster Club Championship.
We were into an Ulster Club Championship, and we played Brainsford of Down in the first round of the Ulster Club Championship.
Yeah, I remember. Sorry for interrupting there, but I remember you talking to you one time about that particular match, because you mentioned something about Liam McGrath.
Well, it's just an incidental thing. We built up a great relationship with Blaney. We were staunch rivals on the field, but when it would be over, we could celebrate that together. And a couple of our players that should have been on the team arrived late, and we had the team lined out, and it was decided that we'd go with the team that we had lined out. And I remember coming down along the side, and Liam McGrath called me over and
this
saying...
was again Bryansford now?
Against Bryansford.
Yeah.
He says, Liam, whatever you do, get out your best team. And so I took his advice and got our men on very quick to strengthen the team.
I think he appreciated the fact that he was, you know, he was prepared to sort of... He showed you where his goodwill lay.
Yes, he was loyal to his county.
Yeah, and, very good.
So how things wasn't going great in the match. I suppose maybe 15 minutes from the end. I remembered well, Jim McCabe wasn't doing that well, and there was a lot of boys shouting to get off. And next thing he
was only a teenager at the time.
He would have been a minor that year, and next thing he scored 3 goals, and it silenced a lot of men anyway.
Where was that match played, as a matter of interest?
That match was in Ballybay.
Oh, Ballybay. Yeah. So you went on ahead to...
We went on then to play in the semi-final against St John's in their own ground, Corrigan Park, in Belfast. And again, we were completely outplayed, Mackie, and it was the best lesson we ever learned.
Right.
And in fact, that was one of the last... I came on in the second half of that match. It was one of the last senior games that I played. So
you asked yourself to come on, was that the way it was?
In fairness, Sean Morgan, who wasn't a selector, felt that maybe it should be on. And, but anyway, the outside of it was we were well beaten.
What team was that?
That was St John's.
And your man McGinty.
Peter would have been playing. Andy McCallan. They would have had a very good setup at the time, right. And they had previously won a couple of Ulster club championships, and would have been recognised as a big team.
Andy McCallum, he was a big star at the time, and Peter McGinty as well. Yeah. Now, but the following year, Liam, that'd be 78 now.
78, we had a change of selectors. Sean Morgan and Hugh McCaig came in, and again we were lucky enough to win Ulster. Having played St John's in the final, and I think the fact that we played them, having played them the year before,
you knew
and got a bit of a hiding from them, we knew their strengths and weaknesses a bit better. And the final played in Dungannon, and we were lucky enough to win it. And we had Eamon Keenan in goals.
Hugh, you're an amalgamation of a few clubs, and you only won your first county championship in 1960.
Before this, we had 3 clubs in the parish, but we had Scotstown as a senior team, and we had 2 junior teams. But each club was finding difficulties in fielding a team, so I think we all did the sensible thing, and we came together and pooled our resources. And now I think that has proved to be the thing that has really got us on the map.
Now so that was 78 now. You're on a bit of a roll then, Liam. That was winning the Ulster, isn't that right?
That was winning the Ulster. We went then on to play the All-Ireland semi-final in February against Walsh Island.
That's from Offaly.
Walsh Island and Offaly, who had plenty of household names, men that had won All-Ireland titles before and after that.
Willie Bryan was he on that Offaly team?
He was. He was in the Walsh Island team, and he had won an All-Ireland medal and an All-Star as well with Offaly. We were very unfortunate, Mackie, too, on 2 days before that semi-final. Sean McCrudden's father died, and Sean Haggerty, myself and Paddy Maguire met to try to get the match off with Croke Park, and they wouldn't call the match off, and up until the morning of the match we didn't know whether Sean McCrudden was coming or not. It was entirely left to himself. And I remember about 20 minutes before the throw-in, Sean McCrudden walked into the dressing room along with Pat Larmer, who was his brother-in-law, and there wasn't a word there. It was just deathly silence, you know, and awe in appreciation of the man and what he was to do for his club, that he could turn out. When his father wasn't yet buried, the father's funeral was the next morning. We went on to win the match. A lot of people would say it was the best display from a Scotstown team. I don't know about that, but...
talking about the Sean McCrudden business, I remember Jimmy Padandy was in Minus, I think, maybe after they came home from the match, and all Padandy could say was McCrudden.